some of the most fun Zona shows that we have done is when we launch, right? Zero boats at the ramp. Launch, unscripted, Zone Unplugged. Now. Yeah. One of the most fun things taping a regular Zona show to me is just going to a lake raw and not just going, launching the boat, and hell, we don't know anything, what we're doing, where we're going. And the lake that we came to here, it's a lake I grew up on fishing with Vandy back in, our 20s a lot. The lake we're fishing is actually, it's a lake I grew up, I fished it in my 20s. Crazy gin clear. But what I wanted to do is get here before, they made that push to spawn, but really clear water. But generally when you get bit here, they're big, but it's like literally intimidatingly clear. But the cool thing about this lake, which maybe we'll see this morning, it's kind of a smallmouth, largemouth mix. Here's what's interesting is when the water's cold, is I try to, and I've always tried to look for groups of fish, okay? And if you really, this is weird now, if you walk through these next few minutes, here's what we did. We started in 25 to 40 feet of water with a small rage swimmer and caught them. That fish came out of 35 feet and caught them. 27 feet, he's a little bit shallower. Just pulled the trolling motor up to leave. And caught him. And that kind of got the ball rolling, right? Yeah, nice one, not a big one. Oh, it's a smallmouth too. Ooh. The next thing I knew is we caught him, but we weren't, the greed factor sits in, so we go to, 10 to 15 feet of water and started throwing a KVD 300 jerkbait and caught him. There he is. Second cast. And caught him, and then caught a bunch of pike, but then caught him again. Oh, there he is. Little guy. And then if you fast forward, then we went up in 2 feet of water. We're still catching them. Now we're catching them back with a rage swimmer. Just a little keeper. Look how they're getting it though. All right, we gotta be quiet. And as crazy as this is gonna sound, that is not a good thing. That's a really bad thing, because I don't know which one of those three. When the water's in the 40s, you need to find the water column that the big ones are in. Are they way out in the outer realm? Are they in that mid-depth range? Or are they up? And after the first 2 hours, I looked at cameraman Brandon and I was like, hell, I don't know, they're everywhere. But they weren't what we were after. We're making ground up now. Yeah. Okay. Look, after the first 2 hours of fishing, I'm like, yay. We caught them in 35, we caught them in 25, we caught them in 15, we caught them in 2. And I needed to shut down mentally, re-rack, and look, everything was doing its job. Just nice little solid guys. Not giant. Any means, not giants. You gotta keep going. I went back through the same exact deep rotation, and all I did was change baits, okay? And one of the things is, if you look at that right there, it is the most simple, simplistic lure on earth, okay? That's a Strike King Baby Z2 with a 3/8 ounce Ned head. I use Strike King Ned heads, Trocar Ned heads, homemade Ned heads, tungsten Ned heads, you name it. I use a lot of Ned heads, and I always say to myself, man, I hate throwing this bait, but I don't. In cold water, a Baby Z2 on a Ned head is a home wrecker, and I was using a 3/8 because of how deep we were fishing. Stay hooked. It's a little better one. He's got buddies with him too. Wow. There we go, guys. Huh? All right. I mean, that's an old punch too, isn't it? Deadly, deadly. Look at that paunch. That fish is like 18 inches built. Gosh. All right. I feel like taking a load off, cameraman Brandon. That could have been a shapeshifter for the rest of the day. Yes, 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 yes. Wow, that's interesting. When I hit him, I knew he wasn't a baby. Been an interesting day. I always say you need to find the water column that they're in, and we have found them in every single water column today. We have found them in 2 feet, 8 to 12 feet, and the outer realm 25 to 35. What's interesting enough is I started this Unplugged throwing a deep rage swimmer, which always does its job. But I think I fished through them earlier in the day to where I settled down. I looked at Brandon and I was like, Brandon, stand down, just stand down. And we both settled down together. And the funny thing is I taped a show last year, a solo show on Lake Huron. Gotcha. With a 3/8 ounce Ned head. Oh my God, look at that bass. It was a baby rage bug. Oof. And here's what's interesting is so many of you throw a Ned rig, but a power Ned rig with a 3/8 ounce head, a very subtle bait like this right here, or that bait that I used up on Lake Huron, here's what's happening. That thing is going to the bottom, okay? And what I do is basically I just scoot it and scoot it and scoot it. Stay hooked, stay hooked, stay hooked. That's what we need. I'm like shaking right now that I don't lose this thing. Ain't seen him yet. I don't know how big he is. Nice one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just a good one. Just another good one. You're just a good old chunk. Come here, you old chunk. We're going somewhere now, guys. Doop. A deep water bass, dude. Look at that graph. I think I got the poison out. I told cameraman Brandon I might have been a little souped up on coffee, 5 Hour Energy this morning. I think I'm fishing the bait correctly right now to where it's not a machine gun and maybe 15 feet off of the bottom. Let's go. Let's go. I'm fishing out in the abyss, like it's 25 to 40 feet of water. And all there is really, you can barely see it. See that little tuft right there? That little tuft right there. See that? That little tuft of grass. Every time I've got my bait near that, it welds. I've not felt a single fish bite this bait. What I really saw today, and I've seen this growing up, is, look, I could point out the little pieces of wood or tufts of grass to Brandon, and all of a sudden, your rod would just weld. Those fish would just sit there. They wouldn't tunk. Those fish would just literally sit there on that bait, and it felt like you were welded to the bottom. And all you do is ink. That might be a smallmouth. Stay hooked. I don't know, it got smaller on me. I don't know. Felt smally-ish. Like smally head shakes. Smally, little guy. Okay, I want to show something real quick. It's just a little keeper is all it is. I want to show you something real quick. We have not moved the boat in the last 20 minutes and fished the crap out of this 2 hours ago and lost one bass. But I could see them on my Mega Live, and it's an area I've caught them before. I've not moved, and I've caught smallies on the right, largies on the left, all in 25 to 30 foot of water. That's weird. I spot locked on one spot, and I could see the little tufts of grass, and what that grass does is it grows around petrified pieces of wood, and I could tell by the way that my hands smell that those fish are eating. Those fish are really gorging on crawdads, because when I would grab them, they were making a mess inside the boat, and it's a really raw smell. But what's funny is we got into one area. To the left is largemouth, to the right is smallmouth. They didn't want to party together. They're not on the same side of the bar. They're on opposite sides of the bar. They're on the right side of the Death Star is the smallmouth. On the left side is largemouth. And at one time it was going back and forth and back. And that's so rare. There's places up in New York and Minnesota. You see it on Ozark lakes. You see it on lakes like Bull Shoals or Table Rock a lot. But to see that on lakes in Michigan, that's a rare deal. It's a rare deal. They're close to each other, but they ain't all next to each other. You know what I mean? Nice smallie. You all right? Like that would hurt. Ah! Oh! 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 Said this a few times this year. It's like smallies are cannibals. If you really look at Arkansas Shiner, if you look at an Arkansas Shiner, it's like his little hatchling. Oh! Oh! And the entire setup that I was actually using a new Lew's Custom Light reel that's coming out. Mark Zona all-purpose 7-foot Lew's signature rod. Soft tip, 15-pound Seagar Smackdown braid to an 8-pound Seagar Tatsu leader, long leader. In the areas that it was calmer, you had to get your bait away, and the areas that the wind was up, you could kind of, I could look at them on Mega Live, I could see them all swimming around and stuff like that. Maybe, 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 feeling correct. Yeah. Yep. Wow. Hi there. How about this? I'll GoPro myself. Wow. Baby Z2 saved the day. Oh. That's a good one. I mean, a little punch. Look at him. Look at him. What? Dude, his stomach across is the width of my hand. How about it? Fun day. Gosh, look at this thing's stomach. But the one thing, I guess, to take away from this is, number one, and we all do this, you go through your rotation of, you know, spots you fish on your local lake, and you think, well, heck, they're not biting, man. And then, like, we came back through 2 hours later, and it was like the sky opened. We even went up shallow one more time, caught a big smallmouth, and then we faded back out deep, and ended this unplugged. Big. Stay hooked. How about that, dude? That's amazing. Amazing business. Never had that fish hooked. What a day, right? What a day. That's a punch boy, right? Ooh. And here's the thing, I really believe this. If I would not have switched to that subtle little dude right there, I think it would have been hard to get this done today, to, you know, to find the quality that we found. And it's only 1 o'clock right now. If you kind of go back and look through this, that was a heck of a unplug. I mean, when the window opened and we both looked at each other, and it's like, got it. I feel like this morning I was trying to do too many things at once. You know what I mean? I wanted to be deep, I wanted to be shallow, I wanted to be, I think finally when I said, hell with it. We're going out deep, and we'll figure them out deep. The size went up and up and up and up to where at the end of the day, it was a heck of a day. If there's one thing, if you fish clear water, whether it's shallow, whether it's deep, make sure you always have a power Ned rig, a 3/8 ounce with a baby Z2. Look, I throw a bunch of different baits, different manufacturers. That thing right there, one of the most powerful, subtle, do nothing looking, that right there was a home run. 2 words. Go ahead, Brandon, what are they? Say it loud.
We're done.
We're done.